is 7:04 on this Friday, June 23rd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman & Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's a Friday morning. It's still cloudy and overcast, but it's going to be a fantastic day, and we welcome you to our program. And, of course, each Friday at this time, we talk about Wilson Bank and Trust. This morning, we have Heidi King with us, and Heidi, of course, is a financial advisor and is going to be talking mostly about investments, I guess, but good morning.
Good morning.
It is good to see you again. I have to remind you each time you come, the first time you were on the radio with me, you were fairest to the fair. That was a few years ago.
1997.
Okay, that's about 25, 26 years ago. Time flies. But you accepted a position with Wilson Bank and got in the investment department, and not only have you done that, you won an award not too long ago. I think we may have talked about it. I'm not sure. But in case we didn't, we want to this morning. This was a Raymond James Award, right?
It was. It was a Raymond James Award. It's awarded to a woman every year. They call it the Woman of Distinction Award. And so I was awarded that at our women's conference.
Well, that is something no doubt you are very pleased with, and we congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
But investments is what it's all about, and I guess that's what you want to talk about.
Usually that's what we like to talk about on a Friday morning when Raymond James shows up.
Well, how are things?
You know, this year has started off to where the growth stocks have made a roaring comeback. It is pretty interesting, though, that if you take off a couple of those top names like NVIDIA and Apple and Google, those top five out of the lineup, market's actually down a little bit this year.
How much do you pay attention to that? I think everybody, if they pay attention at all, they notice maybe the Dow, if not daily, once or twice a week anyway.
Yeah. So we do follow the Dow, the S&P, Russell, NASDAQ. We follow it just so we're up to date on what's going on. But just because one piece of the pie or another are up, down, and all over the place, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's affecting your portfolio. Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the most important thing is my portfolio.
I definitely don't want you looking at it every day.
But it really doesn't matter what everything else is doing. It's what you have that you're really concerned about, and whether to stay like you are or if changes need to be made. And I don't think people make changes every day or every week, but from time to time, you do need to take a look at it, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? Summertime's probably a good time to do a little bit of that check-in. Everything slows down a little bit. You've got a little bit of vacation time on your hands. A good financial checkup is always in order because you don't want to look at it every day. You don't want to drive yourself crazy and make changes just as a reaction to what happened today or tomorrow or yesterday even. But, you know, you do want to sit down and have a financial advisor look over what's going on in your personal accounts, in your 401k even, because there's not a lot of guidance that you're given there on a daily basis. So, yeah, a good financial checkup is prudent.
Well, you have people who come to you, and you are their advisor. I think I understand this. There's no charge for coming to talk to you, but when they make an investment, that's how you get the bank and you get your money, right?
That's exactly right. So if you've ever have questions, come see one of our team members at Wilson Bank and Trust. Ask for the Raymond James Investment Advisor. Bring some statements in with you. We're happy to make an appointment, sit down, look over what you got, talk to you, ask you a few questions to make sure what you have is appropriate. And if not, we're happy to make some recommendations.
And for those that you haven't gotten to know too well, you want to know, I'm pretty sure how much risk they're able to tolerate. Kind of get a feeling for them where they're not worrying themselves to death every night when they go to bed, that sort of thing.
That's exactly right. So we do have a series of questions and investment questions that really kind of help us dig deep to know if you're going to lose sleep, because that's not the end goal. We definitely want you sleeping sound every night. So there's solutions that are aggressive in nature, that are built for people who like a little bit to live on the edge. And then there's investments that are steady wins the race, and want to make sure that you got a good combination of all of that.
Yeah. Well, you do bonds as well as stock?
Absolutely. Bonds are probably now one of the biggest talking points that we have, and it's a good time to really allocate a little bit of your money towards those fixed income investments where the Fed's been raising rates over and over and over again. Bonds are now attractive.
Well, you have the people who have come who depend on you. You have yours, and I'm sure all the others do. Damon and the other in your office, David Walden.
Yeah.
The three of you are here, but you've got anybody who's a Wilson Bank customer, I think, in the whole territory of Middle Tennessee has somebody they can have access to and fairly close to them.
Absolutely. We've got Mark's out in Cookeville. We're got advisors out in Cool Springs. We've got Keith in Murfreesboro and everywhere in between. So if there's a location of Wilson Bank and Trust, there's an advisor for you.
All right. I guess we might do that disclaimer before you go this morning, because we're supposed to do that, right?
Absolutely. So securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, are not guaranteed by Wilson Bank and Trust, subject to risk, may lose value.
Heidi King, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate having you here, and we'll remind everybody, of course, Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, Middle Tennessee's community bank with excellence in banking since 1987. Have a great one.
Thanks, Coleman.
All right. We're 10 and a half minutes after the hour, and now I want to go to the telephone, and this morning it is our privilege to have Congressman Andy Ogles with us. He is on the phone, and Congressman, hope you can hear me and I can hear you. Good morning.
Morning.
Well, how are you?
To be in the district and be with my family, because at the end of the day,
we're having some problems here. I don't know whether it's a location or another technical matter. Well, we have lost him. Hopefully, Congressman will call back and we can and get better established here this morning. I believe the phone is ringing now. This must be him. Let's go back to the phone. Good morning. Good morning. You're on Coleman and Company.
and this is Andy Ogles, and we got cut off.
Well, I don't know what happened, but I think you're coming in fine now. So let me say it is good to hear your voice, and we're glad to have you.
That's all right. Technology is great when it works, and when it doesn't, well, you just move forward. But
well,
happening in D.C., go ahead.
What's happening? What's on your plate right now as our congressman in Washington D.C.?
Market and banking. The question, and really on the notion that the impact will be having on banks, but also because you and I about to get mortgages and that. Of course, we continue to keep China, against around the world, but even here in the United States. So it's been an interesting, really almost volatile time to be a congressman in D.C., but it's an honor to serve and enjoy talking to you this morning.
Congressman, you're breaking up a little bit. We're going to go to a break right here. If MJ is ready, we'll go to a break here. We'll see if we can do something here and sound a little bit better. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford. The lifetime brake pad guarantee. With the purchase of a brake service, replacement brake pads will be provided at no cost for as long as a customer owns a vehicle. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We have watched traffic volume increase just a few minutes ago there on 40 westbound coming through the Mount Juliet area. All that traffic headed towards Nashville from Wilson County. This time of the morning, it's also building up through the Hickory Hollow area as we check it out live right now on 24 westbound at Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway. Behind it there, you got that traffic being pushed in from Rutherford County. Hey, it's time to call Crest Pest Control. These guys do way more than the average pest control company here in Middle Tennessee. Check out a list of their services by logging on to crestpestcontrol.net. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway, across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and we have Congressman Andy Ogles on the phone. I think we're doing better now. Congressman, again, good morning and welcome to our program.
Yeah, good morning. I guess the third time's a charm. I don't know what's going on with our cell signal, but let's give it another whirl.
You're sounding fine now. A lot of things are happening in Washington, D.C. What about one of the most recent things, I guess, articles of impeachment against President Biden? Talk about that a little bit, if you will.
Yeah, so I think to understand the articles of impeachment, you've also got to look at the big picture. So, you've seen this prosecution, but really a persecution of Donald Trump. And whether you like Trump or don't like Trump, the fact that a former president is just being persecuted the way he is really a problematic and, quite frankly, scary. I mean, I would be opposed to this if it was Obama or Clinton, Bill Clinton, because this moment that that you have a former president being persecuted. You have district attorneys around the country just looking for reasons to charge him with a crime. This creates kind of this back and forth that you could potentially see as we move forward in history. And that didn't work in Rome. It didn't work in the British Empire. It's not going to work in America. So we've got to get back to justice. And what's troubling again is, Trump had some documents, quote unquote mishandling of documents, but so did Vice President Pence, so did Joe Biden, so did Hillary Clinton, and they weren't persecuted in this manner. Then you look at Hunter Biden and the tax evasion, the gun charges. And, you have people that have gone to prison for similar charges, and he gets off with a slap on the wrist. And so it's important that we hold Biden accountable for his, high crimes and misdemeanors, if you will. That's kind of the phrase that's used. Is you can look at it from the monies that his family's taken from foreign entities over the years, not only as vice president, but fast forward that while he was president, then also our southern border. Under the Obama administration, so I'm going back to a Democrat presidency, 1,000 migrant crossings a day was considered a crisis, so roughly 30,000 a month. We're hitting between 250 and 300,000 a month, and just in the past couple of months, we've caught, now think about this for a moment, 125 people on the terror watch list in just the last couple of months, 125, but only 11, were culpable for the 9/11 attack. And you have, 11-fold that many that we've caught just in the last few months. And so, there's lots of reasons why you can impeach Joe Biden. I personally prefer that we move quickly and go ahead and impeach him. And if there's new evidence, that we impeach him again in the same way the Democrats did Donald Trump. But all that to say, you currently have 3 investigations underway. One is in the Oversight Committee with Chairman Comer. The other one is in the Judiciary Committee over with Jim Jordan. And now we just referred Lauren Boebert impeachment articles to Homeland Security under Congressman Mark Green from Tennessee, and I spoke on that on the House floor just yesterday in support. So you literally could have 3 impeachment articles against the president in the next couple months.
All right, let's go back. I guess it was a week or 2 ago when we raised the debt ceiling and we went through all of this. Some people were concerned that Congress wouldn't act in time, and they were going to even lose their Social Security checks and all this sort of stuff. It was something probably could have been avoided, but it wasn't. But how do you feel about all this and what happened there?
Yeah, no, you raise a good point. When it comes to Social Security and Social Security benefits and checks, those were never in jeopardy. Unfortunately, when you have these moments in the budgeting process, rhetoric takes over.
Yeah.
And they try to scare people and force the other side to capitulate and come to the table. They said the same thing. They alleged that veterans benefits were going to be cut in some manner, which is a total falsehood. Look, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, most of government spending is actually on autopilot. And so if the government were to shut down, the government keeps running because so much of the money is already pre-obligated and pre-spent. There's very little discretionary monies out there. And quite frankly, when you look at the debt ceiling and you look at the $32 trillion in debt, look, I'm all for cutting the budget. And I fought for cutting the budget. I was one of the people that helped craft the Limit, Save, Grow, the Freedom Caucus. That was our plan. And then what we got was the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which doesn't go even nearly as far as what we originally proposed. But at the end of the day, we can't cut our way out of this crisis. $32 trillion in debt. The only way to fix this is to grow out of it. We didn't get here overnight. It's going to take time to fix it. And so we need energy independence. We need to reduce taxes and regulations on business and corporations so they can grow, invest in their people and research and development. But it's going to take time. And so, the thing with the debt ceiling where we increased it and there's some proposed savings, I actually did not support the plan because a lot of the savings, quote unquote, in there are promised in the future. And let me tell you, anytime the government's promising savings in the future, I'm a little skeptical. Quite frankly, I'm a lot skeptical. And that's the big difference between the Limit, Save, Grow. The original plan is there's a big chunk of those savings were up front. It was a $1.5 trillion increase, but then there was almost $1 trillion savings on the near term. That's a big difference than savings that you're going to realize 6, 8, 10 years from now. And again, I don't trust government math. It's monopoly math. It's not real. They move monies and numbers around. And so I was frustrated with it, but I'm up there fighting, and we'll continue to add amendments to cut the budget to save taxpayer dollars. And, that's how the sausage gets made. And, I'll go back to John Quincy Adams. He was a member of the House of Representatives, a senator, and a president. And when he retired, he actually went back to Congress, to the House of Representatives, because he said that was the people's house. That's where you debated. That's where you argued. And that's where you did the people's work. And that's what I'm up there to do.
Want to get your opinion of the job that House Speaker McCarthy is doing. What kind of marks do you give him?
That's a great question. I'm disappointed in our debt ceiling plan. It's called the Fiscal Responsibility Act. I don't think it went far enough. I think we could have done a lot better, quite frankly. But he has done a good job of uniting the Republicans. Look, we passed a huge energy bill, which was House Bill 1. We passed a huge border security bill, which was House Bill 2. And you've got a very diverse Republican caucus out there. We're in the majority, and so on that regard, he's done a great job. McCarthy's endorsed me in my reelection coming up in 24. So has Donald Trump. And I'll say, one of the great things about the leadership team is, I'm a freshman. I'm one of the new guys. But of the freshman class, my legislative team, we've passed more amendments than any other freshman. So we've got a very busy legislative shop. So when you go to House Bill 1, which was Steve Scalise, he's the majority leader, that was Republican signature legislation. To kind of give you a backdrop, House Bill 1 through House Bill 10 are essentially the biggest priorities for the Republicans over the next 2 years. And so they really did not allow many amendments on House Bill 1. Well, 2 of them were mine because we really got into the weeds on, some technical fixes, and one of them blocked China from mining on U.S. land, which I feel is a big deal. I think CCP is an existential threat to the United States, CCP being China. And so I'll give McCarthy high marks. He's kept his word on everything. That being said, I can also be critical and say the Fiscal Responsibility Act did not go far enough. We could have gotten more cuts. We could have cut the IRS agents. There's all those other things in there that I could list off over and over again that we should have done, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. So now the next phase, and this will be the next follow-up question, is, so what do? You didn't get as much as you should have gotten, or maybe you cut a deal that now in hindsight you don't like. You have this appropriations process where in the House of Representatives, we control the purse strings. And through that appropriations process, you look for ways to cut spending kind of line by line. And that's what I'm doing with my team as we go forward.
Let me ask what you're hearing from your district. The district lines got changed, of course. In fact, you're my congressman now. I don't know whether you are aware of that or not. But,
Okay.
But I'm wondering, what are you hearing from the people in the district here?
Yeah, no, great question. We literally just did a survey. We just got the results back yesterday, and it was interesting when we polled different issues, and the top 4. So number 1 concern for, now this is specific to the 5th Congressional District, the biggest issue was immigration. That makes sense when you look at the fentanyl that's been coming across the border. You now have your sheriffs and your chiefs of police talking about the crisis, the drug overdoses, et cetera. Most of us know someone who's been touched by a drug overdose at this point. So immigration was number 2. Crime was, immigration was number 1. Number 2 was crime. And those 2 are closely related because, again, it gets back to drugs. It kind of gets back to the defund the police movement that kind of swept parts of the nation. Obviously, here in Tennessee, we've been conservative. 3 was the economy, and then 4 was health care. And, we're working on all of those fronts. We've been very aggressive. And again, I have to commend leadership, and leadership is multiple individuals, but willing to work with those of us in the freshman class that, I'm a bit of a policy nerd. It's not just an outright nerd. And so getting in the weeds on some of these issues, so what do we do to fix the border? What do we do to address fentanyl? What do we do to push back against China and those types of things? So, for example, you had the Chinese balloon that came across the United States, and the Biden administration finally, after it, crossed, and keep in mind, it came across Middle Tennessee. It went by Fort Campbell, went by Oak Ridge, went by our Air Force Base in Tullahoma. So, very strategically, the intake and passage through Tennessee. It was only until it got through the continental United States that they shot it down over South Carolina, or just off the coast there. So what do we do? So I'm on the Financial Services Committee specifically. There's a National Security Subcommittee. And how do we start penalizing CCP China when they are a bad actor? The way I would have looked at it is, we're in a relationship with China, whether we like it or not. I would make it akin to a child that sometimes misbehaves. Sometimes that child has to be punished. And we need to remind China that, look, if you're going to be a world player, if you're going to be part of the global economy, and you do stupid things like this that infringe on our sovereignty, we're going to hold you accountable. And so some of this can be bills. I've got a name of the street in front of the Chinese embassy, the Tiananmen Square Memorial Boulevard. That's the kind of nuanced time for Americans. China, the big kind of stuff in the face. People see people in China because it's for experts. And furthermore, you can look at some other companies have sensitive. They're in of the economy that have connections to otherwise a high tech that would be linked from the stock market and penalty for the keep in mind fentanyl that floods our streets where every small town in America is now affording that fentanyl. It's coming from China. And so we now show that this P is working directly hand in hand with the Mexican cartel to flood our streets with fentanyl. I personally think that it's just short of an act of war. And again, why immigration policy issue is because we have kids, college kids, that are being poisoned day in and day out because of the fentanyl practice.
All right, we're almost to the end of our time here. Let me ask you, need a quick answer here, but there is a Health Act. I understand one of our Tennessee congressmen has come up with an idea of giving doctors more flexibility in caring for Medicare patients, an option to receive a tax deduction, making it easier for them to treat low-income patients. You want to comment briefly on that?
Yeah, so there's actually several proposals to give more choices to not only veterans, but your Medicare patients. And, there's some kind of wonky rules within the current healthcare system that restrict doctors from doing certain procedures unless they're attached to a hospital. So there's multiple reforms in place or being proposed that would, again, give people more access to health care and to doctors. So if you're kind of the small town doctor, you could do that same procedure that maybe a hospital could. Everybody recognizes in Congress that health care is a problem. It's a huge spending issue for us in our budget. And so I think you'll see multiple attempts as we move forward to fix health care. And at the end of the day, it's about the patient, it's about the outcome, and giving more people better access, especially our veterans.
All right, we have come to the end of our time here. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate this, and we'll try to do it again. And we thank you for being with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that is part one of Coleman and Company. Congressman Andy Ogle's here. We've got more to come, so stay with us here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. They want to help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, Tina. I was out there a few minutes ago on 24 eastbound at Spring Street. I had traffic slow there coming past Ellington Parkway on 24 eastbound. Traffic's picked up just a bit down 65 as you come through Millersville. It's some radar this morning on I-40 out in the Mount Juliet area, and there's a one-car crash in Coffee County. People are just rubbernecking as they drive by there in the Beech Grove community. That's going to be 24 westbound at the 97-mile marker. Hey, Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. These guys are absolutely the best to deal with. Check them out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Collier Engineering is a civil engineering design firm that can provide surveying for your home or property. A family-owned business in Nashville, Collier Engineering has multiple employees in Wilson County, including survey manager Dan Curry. He's a registered land surveyor and a certified floodplain surveyor. He would love the opportunity to assist with your surveying needs. Visit collierengineering.com. Call 931-510-2800. Mention this ad and get 10% off.
A special thank you to our men and women who are serving our country every day while we enjoy our day-to-day life.
Thank you to all of our veterans who have served and sacrificed for us to enjoy the freedom.
Take a moment today and pray for our military.
Thank a vet for their service. Happy 4th of July. And remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
A partly cloudy day with warming temperatures coming our way. Starting out in the 60s this morning, looking for a high of 78 by this afternoon. Saturday and Sunday will definitely feel like summer with a high of 88 degrees both days. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
We continue here on this Friday morning, and now it's time to welcome two members of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. It's our two that we have most of the time. Miss Judy and Medina are here. Judy Cox, Medina Himmentoller. So good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
And we're doing fine. You want to explain anything about your
I just had a little arteriogram yesterday, so my arm is in a sling for a few days. but everything turned out good. No blockages, so I'm doing great.
So nothing to be alarmed about.
That's right.
But you're
I wanna
taking
get
care
it
of
checked.
yourself.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
we always mention about the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. Their location is 1330 West Main. They're great people with offering great service. Somebody answers that phone 24 hours a day, and I think one of the most important things is they're people you can trust.
That's
Well,
right.
I tell you, it seems like, when school first got out, everybody went off on vacation, and then people had a lot of Bible schools going on, and now it's settled down, and people are, the last week, it seems like they've just started, okay, I'm ready to go buy a house. Interest rates are what they are, so I'm just going to get out here and find us a house, and then some people are calling us to sell. We had one on East Market Street we listed last week, and it's under contract already. And then we had Franklin Terrace. We listed a condo over there, and it's under contract already. And now it's still showing if you want to do a backup offer, because it was a hot property. When you find the condos, they're really hot properties now. But I wanted to tell, we've got another due from the one on East Market Street. We've got a lot. It's a vacant lot on Ward Street, which is right off of East Market. And we've been told you can put 2 houses on it. So I don't know. You'd have to check for yourself. But we've been told you can put 2 houses, and it's $79,900. So if you can put 2 houses on a lot at $40,000 a lot, that's a deal. So, and it's a level lot. You don't have to do anything to it. Sewer's there. Electricity's already there, and water, city water. So you need to call us on that one if you're wanting to be in the East Market Street area. We've got that one for sale. And I was trying to think, just the condo, we can do a backup. And she's got new listings. I'm going to let her tell you about that.
Yes, we have a new listing in Plantation South coming up. We're getting it ready to put on the market, but it's going to be listed at $584,900. But it is 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. The primary bathroom is walk-in tub, handicap accessible. It is a dream bathroom that you're looking for. So give us a call on that one. The address is 455 Plantation Boulevard, and it's $584,900. So it'll be on the market sometime today. 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths, right on the main drag of Plantation Boulevard, or Plantation South. So right off of Horn Springs Road.
Okay.
So give us a call on that one. It's brick. It's beautiful. It's 2-story. So give us a call on that one. And then we also have one coming up that is on 617 West Spring Street in the Historic District. And it is set up for two family home. It can be a duplex because there's an A and a B side, or it can be for 2 families, that you can live together. And it's going to be listed at $349,900. And it's a great investment property if somebody is looking for that, or it's great for a family of 2 families to live in, or just you can invest it and then have A and B side. It does need work on it, but it is in a great area on West Spring Street in the middle of town. But it's in the historic district.
Yeah, a lot of history on the West Main Street.
Yes, very pretty. West Spring, Pennsylvania, Tarver, all those are very pretty streets. So give us a call on that one. And then if you're looking for acreage, we've got acreage 7 acres on Rutledge Lane. It already has water. It already has a septic tank for 3 bedroom. It's got electricity, electric pole already on the property. So all it needs is a home.
Yeah.
If that's what you're wanting to do, or just have some property to sit on. But it's 7 acres. It's beautiful on Rutledge Lane on the north side of town. So give us a call on that one. And then we have on Old Murfreesboro Road, 2070 Old Murfreesboro Road. And it is 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and it's sitting on 2+ acres. And give us a call on that one. That is $649,900. And it has a house on it, plus an auto mechanic detached garage, and then another detached garage, just a regular garage. So, and it's kind of spread out. It's not all enclosed. So give us a call on that. We'd love to show it to you. So, we've got every little bit of everything that you're looking for. We have a condo in 5 Oaks in Village Circle with 3 beds, 2.5 baths, and it's fixed. It's about to be vacant. She's ready to move out, and so we're ready to get a new buyer in there.
Well, that phone number is 615-443-3130. And I guess you're always looking for listings.
Always.
But it seems like you got a lot right now.
This past 2 weeks, we've been jumping.
Yeah.
It's been real busy, but that's okay. That's what we do. That's what we love.
We want to say a happy birthday to Michael Holbrook. He's in our office. He's
Yeah.
one of our agents, and we want to say a special happy birthday to him today.
Yeah, so anything that you're looking for, whether it's Wilson County, Smithville, we also have the house in Smithville, New Home Road, that has the 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. Beautiful little single level home, great starter home, great investment property. Give us a call on that one. That one is listed at 231.
All right.
So give us a call, and you remember,
Yeah.
don't make a move without us.
Thank you so much. We'll see y'all next week. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Medina Hemmetoler, Judy Cox, C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main Street here in Lebanon. And with that, I want to welcome my guests. And this is maybe something we're doing a little bit different. I don't know when I've ever had a father and son come and be my guests on Coleman and Company, but that's what we have this morning. Scott Benson is with us, and Elliot Benson is with us. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Coleman.
Morning, Coleman.
Good to see you. Elliot, have you been with us on the radio ever before on Coleman?
I have. It's been probably 10 years, and I don't remember what the occasion was, but I think I was right around graduating high school, and we had something going on, and we came out here to talk about it.
Well, it's good to see you, and you're dressed like a Philadelphia lawyer this morning. You evidently doing well.
I'll take it for a Lebanon lawyer, sure.
But I want to start with Scott here this morning. You were director of schools, and you retired, and it's been a year.
It has.
What are you doing now?
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying life. It's good, but I'm still working. And I'm assuming you're talking about my work life when you asked that question.
Yes.
Yeah. So I work for.
See, when you left, you said I'm going to see what I can get into. That's not the way you said it. But what's out there? I'm going to explore, and I never did hear. I don't know the answer.
Gotcha. Yeah. At that point, I wasn't prepared to talk about it, I guess, and probably wasn't even settled on what I was doing for sure. But yeah, so I'm working for 2 different companies, still in the educational world. I work for a facility management company, ABM, and we Fortune 500 company. We ABM Education, and we do facility management, custodial, maintenance, grounds. And I'm on the Southeastern sales team. I support all the sales guys in the Southeastern United States. So I work from home when I'm not traveling, and I travel once or twice a month, going to different places. Just returned from Alabama. I was in Fairhope, Alabama. I was in Lafayette, Louisiana at the Alabama Superintendent's Conference, as well as the Louisiana Superintendent's Conference down there. But in addition to that, I contract with medical analysis. And medical analysis, we do employee health and wellness clinics for school districts as well. So that doesn't take near as the time that I do with ABM, but so it's good. It's much different than what I did before.
You probably have some headaches, some challenges or whatever, but they got to be a different variety.
Much different, Coleman. Much different. My stress level's down, my blood pressure's down.
Have you been to the beach much?
Often. MJ asked me that question as well.
You love the beach.
Love the beach, yeah. Was there just a few weeks ago, going again really soon. So
yeah,
it's good.
You have any other than going to the beach, any other? You're not a golfer, are you?
I'm not. I've dabbled in it. Elliot's a golfer. He plays when he gets the opportunity, but I've got a friend of mine that golfs all the time, that retired at the same time I did, and he's trying to talk me into getting back into golf. So I actually went through the garage yesterday and looked at all the clubs we have there in the garage and thought, I could probably get a good set out of all the clubs there.
I probably took yours over the years.
Elliot, let's talk about you. Who are you with?
I've been working with Rochelle McCullough ever since I graduated law school. So.
Well, I thought so, but I wanted to hear it from you because, I mean, sometimes people change and you don't know about it. But what are you actually, what are you doing most of the time?
I'm mainly working in trust and estates, will preparation, trust preparation, probate administration of estates. Do quite a bit of business work as well, real estate transactions, land development, that type of thing. So,
well, how did this come about? Is this something you had maybe had your mind set on all along, or did just sort of the opportunity present itself? How did it come about?
I had an idea that I wanted to go to law school, wanted to come back home and practice law. And actually, it was at over at the school district. They were opening up their new office probably 7-8 years ago. And Bob Rochelle was there, and I talked to him and asked him if I could come work in the summer, carry papers around. And that ended up working out for me, and started there in 2018 and been there ever since. So,
well, tell us about Bob Rochelle. How's he doing?
He's doing real well, working 7 days a week there right now. So.
so nothing's changed in that area there.
Those things stay the same.
Well, Bob Rochelle and I go back a long ways because once upon a time he was a disc jockey out here when he was, I guess it's when he was going to Cumberland. And, of course, then he became a lawyer and he became, I think, was a county attorney one time with the job Mike Jennings has now. Mm-hmm. Then he decided to run for Senate. Of course, the rest is history. But in the meantime, Rochelle McCullough-Knowles got started. So he is a hard worker. I think we all know that. I'm wondering why he doesn't slow down a little bit, but evidently he doesn't.
Well, if you're good at it, keep at it. So
yeah. Let's take our break here. If you joined us late, we have Scott Benson and his son Elliot Benson. They're here this morning, and we're going to talk more after this break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, that regular oil change $39.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, T-Dot. Just now moved to crash over here on 40 westbound. It's going to be right at that Elm Hill Pike overpass. That's just past Spence Lane. Again, before you get up to Fessler, slowing down that traffic over here in Donaldson. Again, on 40 going westbound at the Elm Hill Pike overpass. They were still on the scene of a stalled vehicle, actually on Bradley Parkway northbound at Lebanon Pike. It's some debris cleanup of some sort. On 24 eastbound at Ellington Parkway, still got traffic really slow go. Hey, Nash Painting, they service all of Middle Tennessee. Check out their website right now at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
You know, starting to save for your future doesn't have to be difficult. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help tone up your financial goals this year. Our certificates of deposits or CDs can help your money work harder with our competitive rates, earning you more than ever before. WBT checking options allow you to earn rewards you can really use, like a high interest rate or cash back on check card purchases when you meet some e-banking qualifications. Visit your closest Wilson Bank and Trust office or online at wilsonbank.com to get started today. Member FDIC.
We continue here on Friday morning. Thanks for joining us, and our thanks to Scott Benson, Elliot Benson for making an appearance here. I just really I want to find out what you was doing, Scott.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen you in a year, so.
Well, it's we had some good times. You did a good job for us when you were director of schools and reporting on what was happening, and really with Brian Hutto, I think we've missed a beat, really. He's coming right along. He has the headaches now. But there are some challenges in education, no doubt. And I don't know, it can kind of get the best of you.
You know, it can. It'll wear on you. But let me say this, and I want to be very clear, and I'm very sincere when I say this. 30-plus years in education, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I really did. And, you know, the retirement thing for me, it's not something I had planned on for a long time. I was talking to a superintendent down in Alabama just this past week. Sort of the same story. He's retiring this time, but you know, I woke up one morning and just thought, you know, I think I could do something else, and I just feel like it's time, and that's what happened with me. But I loved doing that for 30 plus years, being an educator, and just met so many great people and worked with great people, and it was wonderful to me.
Well, no doubt you miss them and miss that association, but I'll bet you still keep in touch with some of them.
Some of them I do. Yeah, I've tried to keep my distance a little bit. The first year here anyway, with Mr. Hutto taking over the district, and he's doing a fine job, and the district is rocking and rolling and continuing on. But that's probably what I miss the most would be the people, and great people in the Lebanon Special School District, and they're doing fabulous work there.
Elliot, you're going to have to twist his arm and get him on the golf course.
Well, if I can keep him away from the beach for a weekend, might get him out there. But
let's talk about you a little bit. Did you grow up here in Lebanon?
I did. Uh-huh.
Where did you go to elementary school?
I went to Southside mainly. I spent a year at Sam Houston, then I went to Southside for the rest. Went to Walter J. Graduated Lebanon.
Get a little closer to the mic here. Okay. You went where first?
Southside, Sam Houston, Walter J. Graduated Lebanon.
Yeah. So, okay. And then
went to UT for 4 years, and then went to Ole Miss for law school, and then came right back home. So,
well, what was college like? College life like for you at UT?
It couldn't have been better. I enjoyed my time there. Then packed it up, went down to Oxford for a couple of years. And I tell everybody I cried my eyes out when I loaded that U-Haul up and packed up back to town. But it's been good all the way. So.
Well, at what point did you decide this is what you wanted to do?
I would say that I didn't just fall into it. I kind of had an idea that I wanted to practice law and wanted to come back home for it. But
why did you want to practice law rather than being director of schools or something?
Well, I was always very involved in the things that Dad did, and would hang out with him at work and rode to school with him at Walter J. and things like that. Liked being out in the community, and I didn't think I wanted to do exactly that, but maybe something where I could come back and help folks and engage with a lot of different people.
How difficult has it been to become a lawyer? You go 4 years at UT, I guess, and get your undergraduate degree.
And another 3 years in law school, but
so you don't have to go as long as a doctor, but just an extra 3 years.
That's right. And then, of course, once you get out, they don't let you play as much golf as a doctor either, but it works out okay.
Well, as far as comparing UT and Ole Miss, I mean, and especially when Lane Kiffin is up there and supposedly got hit by the golf ball and all, we know all this. So where do you fit in there?
I always tell people that I still root for UT sports. Of course, sports is a lot bigger deal at UT than it is Ole Miss. But if I was going to do it over again today, I'd probably go to Ole Miss. So.
And so really you got to see Senator Rochelle, and he let you come and work in the summer, and did that make your mind up?
I got along well with the folks there, and then I started coming back working the next summer, started working winter break, and everybody kind of took me in, kind of fell into a little bit of a niche practice of doing the business work in the States, and I've been appreciative, and I'm fortunate, and it's worked out, and I've stayed there and plan to stay there. So.
What kind of litigation or cases, or what is your main work as an attorney?
Mainly on the estate planning side, preparing wills and trusts, powers of attorney, that type of thing, and probate administration of estates, trust administration of estates, and then as far as litigation goes, I don't have the heaviest practice in that. A lot of involvement in real estate transactions and land development on the other side of that.
Well, how much of this were you already familiar with, or did you have to kind of learned on the job? I'm wondering about this, because this is kind of a delicate area here, and you got to get all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, so to speak.
Definitely learning as you go. And my first year out of law school practicing, I was working directly under David Fouch, who does a lot of the same things, and would go to all of his meetings and tag along, prepare documents, see corrections to be made, and then finally one day they let me loose. So.
I'm wondering about people, and both of you can answer this, but people who have had a big influence on your life. Scott, we'll start with you. Is there somebody that really stands out that really had a great influence on what you did to be the guy you are now?
Gotcha. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is professionally when you ask that question, and I've had so many mentors over the years that I've had the opportunity to work with. Wow, I don't know if I'm going to start naming names just because there's so many, but I think when I went into education, when I first went to college, I didn't know really what I wanted to do. And when I made my mind up, I think it was a direct result of the educators that I had in school and teachers and coaches and whatnot. And so I decided that's what I wanted to do. And so, before I even started college, I had mentors to do that. And since starting as a beginning teacher and coach in 1991, just worked with some wonderful people and taught me a lot over the years. Do you want me to start naming names?
Well, it's okay.
Yeah. So
it's up to you.
Yeah, so looking back, I think, and professionally after I started working, Mike Presley and Danny Hill come to mind as early educators there. And moving along, I think I know as an administrator, Kathy Toombs, Nancy Ash had a big influence on me as well. I got to work with Linda McDowell when I was principal at Walter J. Baird. Linda had a tremendous influence on me as well. So I could keep going. There are many there, but I was fortunate to work with some great people.
Elliot, how much influence has your father had on decisions you made? I mean, y'all seem pretty close, really.
Tremendously. And we talk very regularly. Even when I was away at school, we would talk usually every weekday. And we just see what the word on the street is and what's happening. I always like to know what was going on in the school district, and like to think that I was involved in that. I'm always appreciative to me if people come up to me and say something kind about him, and that really does mean something, and something to look up to.
What's some of the things you might have done were you in the Boy Scouts, for example?
I was a Cub Scout briefly, but I played golf growing up, and that was probably the extent of my extracurriculars.
So golf is really, you're really with it in golf.
I used to be more so than I am now, but it diminishes a little bit every year. So.
Well, I want to throw out a name, and your father-in-law, your late father-in-law,
yes, sir.
Your grandfather, George
Lowry.
George Lowry. We've heard one story that you told when you spoke at Veterans Day.
Okay, yes, sir.
But
he was being the dad.
George, I believe, was 2 years behind me in high school. A great football player, really a great guy. And I didn't know him as well as I did others. But I mean, his presence was felt, and I can't help but think that he had a big influence on both of you.
Absolutely, George, fine gentleman, and. Passed in 2014, and many will remember that George was the first heart transplant in Middle Tennessee back in 1988, and lived a long time, exceeded expectations as far as the heart transplant at that time. But yeah, George was a fine gentleman, and I joke every now and then that he probably didn't smile at me until after about 2 years after Julie and I were married. He wasn't real sure, but
maybe till I came around.
Maybe till Elliot came around. That's right. But after that, it was really good, and it was good before then. I was joking, but tremendous influence on Elliot as well. And Elliot was the first grandchild, and I'll let Elliot speak to that.
Yeah, and all the grandkids. We called him George, and I was first. I got to pick that. He took me to school. I would hang out at his house all the time. He came to all my golf events. We talked. He passed right after my freshman year at UT, and we would talk frequently right up until the end. Another person who people will come up to me and say a kind word about him to this day comes up often in folks that come in, and that truly does mean something.
I can't help but think maybe some of what he might have admonished you about Don't get on drugs. Stay out of trouble. Did you hear some of that?
Hey, George, you could pay attention to his actions and pick up things to him. He was truly kind to everybody that he met, and I think that people knew that and could see it from him. That's something that I admired about him, and hope to live up to one of those.
Yeah. We've got 2 minutes left here, and I don't know that I'm out of questions, but this has been a little bit different from any program I've ever done. I don't think I've ever had a father and son here where we really talked about your careers, your life, your relationship, and this sort of thing. Maybe we need to do it more often. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate the invitation. It was great to get out here to see you
I
and
know
MJ and Billy again. And
could have picked up the phone and called and asked you what you're doing, and I don't usually do that sort of thing, but at least I find out along with everybody else this morning, those who didn't already know.
Yeah. Hey, let me throw this in since we've got a minute here. Elliot mentioned growing up and being around me and my career and that sort of thing. That was a wonderful experience for me. That didn't come up here, but Elliot mentioned going to Walter J. I was Elliot's middle school principal at Walter J. Baird, and just prior to that, I was assistant principal and athletic director at Lebanon High School for 6 years. And so Elliot, he was always with me at Lebanon High School. Being athletic director, I went to all the athletic events and that sort of thing. So he was always following me around, and he felt, like he said, he felt a part of it. I guess he sort of felt like he was in charge there probably at that age. But that was a wonderful experience for me as a father, and being able to hang around Elliot.
Well, no doubt you picked up on a lot of things being able to do that.
I did, and it was a good way to be a kid.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming out this morning. I really appreciate this. And Scott, keep up what you're doing.
Yes,
and
sir.
Elliot, we wish you well, and hope you have a distinguished career Rochelle, McCullough, Halls, or wherever you land.
Thank you.
That is it for a Friday. Have a nice weekend, everybody. And until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.